guys, another episode of Bonafide Her Podcast featuring the one and only Miles Thornton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Man, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I am feeling good, doing good. Just ready to speak that real.
Period. Let them know what it is.
You feel me?
And it's football season for you, so it's
It
like
is.
you've been locked in. So
Man, locked in beyond belief. I'm talking about not even just on the field, like locked in school, locked in on the field, locked in with the other stuff I got going on with the podcast, other things like that. So definitely the season of locking in for sure.
I know that's right. So let's get it started. So Miles, can you tell us like how you got to where you are in your sports journey?
Yeah, I get where you want me to start.
Man, the floor is yours. You could take as long as you want. The
All
floor
right,
is
I was about to say I really don't like to dwell too much on high school. I think high school, well now I feel old because I'm a senior now. So, but for me, coming out of high school, I was a good player. Wasn't really recruited too high. A couple different things like when COVID hit, as well as I didn't go to a lot of camps while I was in high school because I had a Southern coach, and he told me if you're talented, they'll come find you. Which, if you're listening to this and you're in high school, no, okay, you gotta promote yourself. You are your own brand. You are your own business. So promote yourself like you are one. I wish I would have known that back then. I probably would have did a lot more. But I ended up here. I ended up coming here. I got a preferred walk-on opportunity from Coach McGee. I committed like 2 days after I got the opportunity, so that was cool. Came up here, and yeah, I was doing pretty good as a freshman. I changed positions for like a spring or so. I came in as a receiver. They moved me to running back at receiver, and then I had a stress fracture in my shin that I didn't know about until I went to the doctor, found out, and then I just remember the doctor looking at me and going, "What class are you again?" And I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "It can't be that bad." And he was like, "Oh, you're a first." He was like, "Oh, you're good. You're good. You'll be all right." So did that, and then the year after that, I tore my ACL. Right after I came back from that, and so now I am fully recovered from both injuries, and I am back out on the field. And yeah, I'm working my way back up, keeping my head down, and taking it day by day.
Man, those ACL injuries, I've heard like so many horror stories about it. It's like, dang, like the way, like it, I mean, I used to hear like it would change the way people walk and run and stuff. So,
Mhm.
like, did it change the way, like, how it run and walk and everything, especially like the mental aspect?
Yeah, I think not a lot of people know, like, they know ACL, they know it as a trigger word, but I don't think a lot of people know how ACL actually works. So your ACL kind of if this is your knee, your ACL is like a string in between your knee, and when you bend your knee, it keeps this top part from sliding. And so your ACL is like if these two fingers were locked, and it keeps it from moving out of place. And so if your ACL tears, then you can actually still walk. You can still I like as soon as I tore my ACL, I was down for a second. After the shock wore off of what happened, like I stood right up and then I started walking, and I didn't know, like, I just knew something was wrong, but I didn't know that it would have been my ACL because originally I thought if you tore your ACL, just like a lot of people believe, like you can't walk, you can't run, jump, anything like that. But no, only thing really with an ACL is like, especially with football, you have to have one in order to do like hard cutting and things like that. But what my doctor told me is if I was a track star, like a 100-yard sprinter, then if I tore my ACL, I could still technically sprint as long as you can run forward. It's just as soon as you try to cut or break or anything, you need that in place to stop your knee from sliding. It didn't change how I walk. I'm definitely like aware of it, if that makes sense. Like mentally, like I kind of favor one side over the other when I'm coming in and out of my breaks and things like that. But I've been working to kind of just make it more natural, make it it's all a mental thing. Once you realize that, it's easier to overcome. And you just got to keep telling yourself like, I'm I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm healed. I'm just as healthy as I was before at the
Hey, man, salute to you, sir.
yeah.
Because yeah, like you said, ACL is like a trigger. I was like, I have to like, if I hear somebody like ACL or like they break, I was like, let me hold my knee real quick.
Nah, for real. It's definitely been a journey though. From having a rod put in my leg to tearing my ACL the next year, like it's definitely been football has been a journey for me for sure.
And speaking of football, you're at University of Georgia, which has been a huge powerhouse in SEC and really college football lately, especially with the recent y'all won a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my freshman year, so
So yeah, it's because I remember y'all beat TCU so badly.
yeah.
So first of all, how you got to explain how the process of like how were you prepared for that championship game, but also like what was that moment like for you to realize, wow, I'm a national champion?
Yeah, I mean it was really surreal. Obviously the process was it was like nothing that you've ever seen before. I mean, it's every day you walk into the facility and it's like we're playing in the championship. Like every game. I remember my freshman year, every practice week, every prep week, like the scout for that week, like we would treat every team as if they were who we were going against in the national championship. And it shows on the field. I mean, with Stetson and our defense, just as many points as we put up and as many points as we stopped other teams from putting up, that's because during practice earlier in the week, like that's how we prepared was this is this is the only game that matters. This is the last game. This is our championship. And so when we start, when we practice like that, you got the results that you got that season, and then we get to the end, and I mean TCU is just you know, they're just another obstacle to us. It's another game. We've already treated every game like it was a national championship. So now that we're actually here, it's just another game for us. And yeah, and I think it's kind of I can't even really describe it. Once the confetti starts to fall, you kind of like sit back and go, dang, it's really over. Like I don't have to show up next week and go right back to work just like every other week, and I can actually finally take a nap and things like that. So you really start thinking about just all the free time that you're gonna have. And then I think later on, like once you get on the bus and whatnot, you're like, man, we just won the championship. At least that's how it went for me. At least that's how it went for me. I was definitely already thinking like, man, I'm sleeping when I get back. Like this is about to be great. I'm not going to class Monday. uh, but right as soon as we hopped on the bus and started checking my phone, I'm like, man, I was a part of something special on the national championship team. So yeah.
For sure, like, and with everything, like with a lot of stuff that happens, were there moments that you felt like, do you feel like when it comes to football, like for you, is there moments where like sometimes trial tribulations happen outside and in the field and also outside of the field where it's like, how do I like handle this situation? And it's like sometimes it's out of your control.
Yeah. Great question. I think if there's a poster child for trials and tribulations, then I would probably be him. There's been so many instances where things aren't going my way. One on the field with the injuries and things that I've had, as well as like just being a walk on in general. But and then off the field, just relationship issues, whether that's with family or with a girl or friendships or things like that. Like there was a point in time where everything kind of felt like it all piled on me at the same time, and like I can confidently say that that was probably one of the darker times in my life. It was hard to get through it, hard to navigate it, but I couldn't have done it alone. I had a really strong support system, and my mom. That's my rock. You know what I mean. I always call mama whenever I just need somebody to talk to. My brothers, both of my brothers, they hold me down too. They keep me in check too, but they definitely hold me down. My roommate Terrell Foster, he's also, I live with the dude, and he also keeps me, level headed and things like that. As well as the support staff here at UGA. I think Georgia does a really good job at not just while this is a business, while college football is a business, Georgia does a good job at like the people that are a part of um this machine that we got going. They actually care. They care about us and they care about the people here. And I think that's what separates Georgia from a lot of different places is like the people here are everything. They make everything. We couldn't do anything that we do without the people that make up our organization. So, um, leaning on a lot of those people, especially the people in the training room. Shout out Brittany. Shout out Matt. Uh, they be holding me down, making sure I'm level headed. And then shout out Brad too. Brad is like um, kind of our guy we go to whenever things are getting a little too much. So I definitely couldn't have done it by myself. I think if you are going through something like that, please reach out to somebody. Somebody cares about you. Somebody loves you. Um, and if you feel like they don't, you'll be surprised. You know what I mean? Like, just reach out, just see. But yeah,
And it leads to my question because I always say, I have it on my merch too that I
hmm
create. I always say athletes are human first. So, you
yeah,
know, they are more than their sport, what they're doing is a job. But for you as a football player and a black man, how important is mental health?
yeah. Mental health is one of the things that, especially in the black community, that's not talked about enough. Um, and that I think now it's becoming more prevalent as people are starting to notice patterns and starting to realize, the things that we've been conditioned to believe they just aren't true or they don't work anymore. I grew up. My dad was way older. My dad was born in the 50s, so his whole his mentality was boys don't cry. I grew up in a real tough. I got that era from my father, but as I've grown and as I've come to understand mental health and things a lot better, you realize a lot of these teachings that are passed on they're not true, and they're destructive, if anything, to our community. And you have to find better practices, and it's hard to do that, especially within our community, because there's so many people that are stuck in a certain mindset, and whether that's their fault or not, it's a matter of, well, how do we move forward, and how do we move forward as a community and as a people and as humans? You know what I mean? Everybody has mental health. Everybody obviously has physical health, and we focus on physical health a lot, but your mental health is just as important as your physical health, because you can't tell your body to move without your brain. And if your brain is off, then the rest of your body is going to be off. And so mental health is the most important part of this entire system.
Woo, you better let them know what it is.
Yeah, I'm smart too. I'm smart too.
Because it's, like you said, like we're so focused on the physical health, we tend to overlook the mental aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, what your brain is going to tell you is going to tell you. Like, if, say, like, yeah, you need to practice, but like sometimes your brain is, and then say, like, you're not at the best mode, but
hmm
like you're being told, like, you still got to practice through it. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, it's almost like a catch-22. Do I really should do it, or should I like literally like take a step back so I don't have to like overuse myself and like
Exactly.
be burnt out and everything. So
Exactly. And you definitely burnout is real. Burnout, you gotta you gotta take time for yourself. Somehow, some way, you gotta find the time to make for yourself. Whether that's turning off your phone or just like saying, nah, I can't hang out tonight or something. You just gotta find time for yourself for sure, especially in the industry that we're in for sure.
for sure. And so I always saw you as an advocate for women's sports because I was like, oh, he up in here, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah. For
so
sure.
my question for you is, what inspired you to advocate for women's sports?
Um, you know, I wish I could point to something specific. But you know, I come from a family of athletes. My mom, she was an athlete. My dad was an athlete as well. But quite frankly, I mean, honestly, I, the town that I come from, athletics is almost everything. And so, like, the girls in my class, they were all athletes, and all the boys in my class were athletes as well. And there was girls faster than the guys when I was growing up, and these girls, they're doing. We playing football. I remember, dang, that's crazy. You just brought me back to elementary school. We playing football, and there was this girl named Lydia Jenkins. But if she's seeing this, that's crazy. Shout out her. But like, I would pick her on my team every time because she was one of the fastest people I've ever seen. She was stronger than a lot of. I'm talking about we playing tackle football, and she tackling boys, she running through boys, all that. And so, as I grew up, I started to see the um is the word disparity.
This,
Yeah, I started to see the disparity between women and men's sports, and it always confused me because women are just as capable at doing these sports that men are, if not some things they do better than we do. And it's not there shouldn't be any shame in admitting that. I think, we work together, men and women, and so I think women should be recognized for the outstanding work that they do in their fields, with athletics being one of those fields. There's some amazing women out there that do amazing work in their fields that I'm sorry, your little Twitter fingers, you can't do it. You can't do it, buddy. So, and it's blood, sweat, and tears, just like I put blood, sweat, and tears into my work. And I would be remiss if I just didn't acknowledge the fact that women do the same thing and can do the same thing. So, I think that's what made me an advocate for women's sports.
for sure. Hey, it's the Twitter fingers for me. I was like,
You know?
I still say Twitter. I don't say no X.
Yeah, I still say Twitter too.
Like, I grew up with it and said when
You
it was
know?
Twitter, not X.
We
Like,
old now. We getting old.
oh no, I'm not old. I'm young. So
Yeah, okay.
I'm still young. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's like
You
I
keep
may
lying to
be
yourself. It's okay. Hey, we up there. It's all right. We up there. We auntie and uncle.
man. Like the uncles, it's like the aunts and uncles. I was like, hey, why am I getting auntie?
I was
Like,
getting the same thing. I was getting the same thing.
like not clutching my pearls, but dang.
Man. Yeah, you definitely old talking about clutching my pearl.
I mean, I make people clutch their pearls. I mean, I'm just saying, if there's a,
Okay, okay,
but
okay.
so at times, but my question for you is, for those that don't know, we met at AthleteCon.
Yeah,
AthleteCon was lit. The
Ashley
rooftop
Conway.
party was like everything. So
Tell
I
him
was
how I
like,
DJ.
man, it was
Was I a
crazy.
good DJ? I was a good DJ?
Yes,
Okay, okay. My friends back home didn't believe me. They said I wasn't a good DJ. They say they don't like my music taste, so I'm not a good DJ.
they don't know what the ox is then.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, continue. Go ahead.
So my question for you is, first of all, shout out to Sam Green for AthleteCon because
Mhm.
man, it's an amazing event. But for you, what was it like to be part of AthleteCon as well as, being able to utilize yourself as you are a brand in the NIL space?
Yeah, AthleteCon was an amazing experience. Um, I don't think there's any event like it really. I went to there's a summit called the Black Student Athlete Summit that I went to. I want to say 2 years ago, and it really inspired me, invigorated me. Got me on my passion and things that I wanted to do. But I think AthleteCon it took that and it took it even further and kind of refined. Like I built I built my brand at AthleteCon, and I figured out who I wanted to be in this NIL space, as well as like content creation and the direction I wanted to take it in. And AthleteCon gave me the opportunity to do that. It gave me the opportunity to explore different avenues and create a bunch of different content with a bunch of really intelligent, really cool people that I never thought I would meet before. You being one of them, as we sit here on this podcast. Um, but I felt so fortunate to be in a room full of people who were one like minded in the sense that we all wanted to better ourselves and create opportunities for ourselves using the platform that we all have, as well as just the different opportunities and the connections within the room. I mean, I met people from Instagram, from Snapchat, Livy and Jules Dunn, being able to, sit there and listen to their story. Just all of this information that you take, and you realize that this daunting task of like using this big platform that you have isn't as daunting as it really seems. It's just a matter of, just like everything else, just doing the work. You kind of just got to, dive head into it. And your first post ain't gonna be perfect, but you just got to keep posting. Just like your first rep isn't gonna be perfect, but you got to keep repping. And so, AthleteCon definitely, it bridged the gap between content creation and being an athlete, and it made me understand the game a little bit better. And so I appreciate Sam Green for putting on such an amazing event and inviting me and JTM, my group, to that. And hopefully we get our invite to go to AthleteCon 3.0.
Hey, 3.0, it's like I want to go so bad. I
Yeah.
already know it's going to be lit. And it's
Sam, let's make it happen. Sam, let's make it happen.
It's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But
That is
maybe
that.
we'll just make the exception. It's in AthleteCon. Like,
No, I mean, it's a business trip. It's a business trip.
it's a business trip. But like you said, like just with AthleteCon, like just to see so many athletes, there are creators, because
Hmm.
you know just be able to see them like learn everything like with different companies and brands. And I mean, shoot, shout out to Snapchat for the verification, because
Facts.
the verification, I was like, oh, I'm verified now. Like
I'm about to start posting.
I was like, because I'll post sometimes like on
Yeah.
my. I finally utilized the public story, because I was like, oh, I went from like 1,000 something to now like 7.1K. Because it's like
Hmm.
when Tay talked about cross posting, I was like, you know what, this works very actually
Right.
utilizing. So it's like it's like it really changed the game, because like cross posting wise, like
Yeah.
you see like how much it's like, oh, the engagement is real.
Yeah. This reach is real.
Like, and then you utilize like, let me start a community and everything. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. So I was like, I was like, I'm here for it. But
Yep.
also like just the connection with the athletes, because like for me, like when I went there, like I was one of the sponsors because of my podcast. Because like there's so many people that have so many stories that it's like, when do they get the opportunity to
Hmm.
be able to share their stories? Because I feel like for me, everybody has a voice, and
Yep.
it's like where's their opportunity? Like who's providing the opportunity for them to share their voice? Because like you don't hear a lot of people get a chance to have that opportunity. So I was like, you know what, if I know, for me, like if I know I have the, say, the platform or the tools for it, I'm like,
Hmm.
I ain't gonna gatekeep.
Facts.
I was like, let me just provide this platform, because I want them to feel safe, and this is like a safe space. So it's like I'm here for it. So, but
Yep. And
so
I mean, that's pretty much how me and my two homeboys. That's how our podcast started too. For all my dogs, we just we wanted somewhere where we could go talk and just be real and just talk about what it's actually like being a part of college football, and like having to balance the student life and just everything that comes with it. So definitely we're alike in the sense that, you know, we're on our podcast grind. I respect your grind.
oh,
Yeah,
appreciate. For my
definitely a
dogs,
grind.
though, I'm here for it.
Oh yeah. For all my dogs, go check out For All My Dogs on YouTube. We post every Thursday, or we're starting to post every Thursday. We're working some things out with our production team right now, but we should be back up. I want to say next Thursday or the one after that. So don't quote me on that though.
I'm here for it though, because I was like, yes, I'm here for it.
Yes
So
sir, yes
I'm
sir.
gonna make sure that I'm gonna subscribe to it after this for
As
real.
you should, and everybody that's watching, as you should too.
Let them know. It's like subscribe to both of our
Yeah,
pages.
subscribe to both of them. You got to keep up. Keep up.
So, can you explain like what your podcast is about?
Yeah. So for all my dogs, like I said, it's me, Jacob, and Terrell. We are all well. Jacob is now a former UGA football player, but we're all UGA football players, and we wanted a space where we could go and talk about not football, and we can talk about life, and we can talk about football is a part of our life, so of course we'll talk here and there about football, but we want to talk about just showing off the different uh, aspects of each of us because we all have different aspirations and different goals, and just having a space where we can all go, and we're funny too. So having a space where we can all go and talk about that, and and at the same time, y'all get to watch us, crack up, and the fans get to join along in the conversations. We're doing a segment now where we actually let the fans call into the show and we ask them a question, or they get to ask us a question or something like that. And so yeah, we just wanted the opportunity to connect with people and show people the human side to college football, and the fact that we all, you know, while the goal is to make it to the league, we also have other aspirations, and it's not just football or die. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what our podcast is about. It's a nice time. It's chill. You know what I mean? You'll get some laughs for sure. We always bring on a funny guest too. Like we just had our other teammate on, Christian Miller, who is a SEC All American watch list right now. So yeah, gotta come check out the podcast for sure if you can.
It's interesting how you like say, yeah, we talk a little bit about football, but y'all like when it comes, which is awesome too, because like you explain, you provide the human side of you guys. Because
Yeah.
I think a lot of the times, as athletes, we're so used to being attached to our identity to the sport we play. Because especially growing up, it's like that's all you know. Like, but if I take that sport out, it's like, who am I?
Hmm.
So, are there times there was moments like that?
Yeah, for sure. Especially like when I got hurt, I went through a big like, who am I? What do I want to do? I think getting hurt kind of put into reality that football is not going to last forever, and you have to have some type of. I'm not saying it's a backup plan, but you have to have some sort of plan when plans don't go to plan. And so I found it took me a while. It did. I was lost for a minute, but I found that I really enjoy creating things. Very passionate about that. I'm also passionate about entertainment. Entertainment is really big for me. I like I like making people smile. I like making people happy. I like seeing the effect that my work can have on somebody, whether that makes them feel, a sense of sadness that they can relate to, or a sense of happiness or pride or joy or anything like that. And so that helped me figure out that I wanted to become an actor, as well as with my degree. I'm a dual major here actually, so part is political science because I want to get into politics later on in life. Hopefully, be able to use my knowledge and know how and make some changes to the way that we do things, as well as I'm an entertainment media studies major, and so being able to create different projects, different films, things like that that can impact people and make them feel some type of real visceral emotion in some sense. So definitely had to find myself though. I had to go through. You got to go through the fire. You're like you're like a piece of steel, and if you want to become that finished product, you got to go through the fire. So
Ooh,
yeah,
come through with it.
right,
A dual. Okay.
right,
Shout out to you, sir. A dual major. He's like, you know what? It's like I'm gonna be an actor, but I want to get into political science.
yeah,
That is. Here's the thing that I think a lot of people. I think this could be a misconception, and correct me if I'm wrong.
hmm,
It's like when it comes to like say the revenue or the scholarship athletes, especially like when it comes to choosing degrees, it's almost like some of the degrees they have to choose is the easy one so they don't have to do all the work. And then there's some athletes like they have these type of passions that's outside of their sport that they may like. So like you said, political science, like you don't really hear a lot of athletes that's taking political science
I
or
am the only athlete that is taking political. There might be another one in a different sport, but football wise, I am the only athlete that is in political science. But yeah, that is a misconception because there are athletes who um, don't take just the easy courses. Like a perfect example of that is N'Kobe Dean. He used to be a linebacker here, and now he's with the Eagles. But N'Kobe Dean was an engineering major. He was engineering in, I want to say, physics or something like that. And so like yeah, so he's not only the starting linebacker, but he's also an engineering major, and he got his degree too. So that just goes to show like it's really a matter of what people have planned out for their future. And I can only imagine that after N'Kobe Dean is done with football, he'll probably go into something with engineering and you know may create something that we all use every single day. So yeah, that is a misconception. While there are some, I'm sure there are some scholarship guys who just kind of took housing because housing is easy, you know. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Some regular students took housing because housing is easy. So
I would have never guessed that. Like hearing, I was like, "Dang, and
yeah.
that's a lot of lab work."
Oh
That's
yeah,
like, and it's part of the when you say physics, like, oh, that's part of the STEM aspect where it's
yeah,
science, technology. I was like, and now he's a Super Bowl champion too
yeah,
now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like you get to see some of the players that you play like win Super Bowls. Like, oh, this is
hmm
like one of those proud moments. Like, oh, I played with them.
That's
So
facts.
my question for you is, what do you see yourself 5 years from now, like both on and off the field?
Mm. It's a good question. 5 years is a. I think this is. I'm moving into my pivotal year. If you would have asked me this my freshman year, I would be like, I'm still gonna be here playing football. You know, hopefully starting. Da, 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 da. Now I'm moving closer and closer to like real life, and so in 5 years from now, when I'll be 27. Damn.
You're still young.
Yeah, I'll be 27. I know whatever I'll be doing. I'm not 100% sure what it will be exactly, but whatever I'll be doing, it'll be something that I am passionate about. I don't plan on getting into a career for the money just because I want to live a certain lifestyle or anything like that. I want to, I know what makes me happy. I know what I care about, what means something to me, and you know, I have the backing of this great institution behind me, and so I'll be, whether I'm in the league, making trying to make the roster, making some plays and whatnot, or if I'm acting and I'm on set, learning the scripts and going over my scene, things like that. Whatever it is, I'll be fully into it, and I will be I'll be my flow state. That's when I'll be at the top of my game, just doing everything I can to make sure that my kids are set up and they don't never gotta work. But they gonna work though. Don't get me wrong. My kids gonna work. They gonna work.
It's like we had to work, you're gonna have to work.
Oh yeah, 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 100%.
We make sure we'll provide a legacy for you. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta earn it.
You got some big shoes to fill, but I'm just giving you a challenge, so you work harder.
Like all the it's like all them hours we had to put in for
You
college
know?
and everything. Like you trying to go through if you want to go what we had to go through,
Man.
just prepare for that. Just so because that was the same thing. It's like I want to be able to build a legacy where like say like when I have kids in the future, especially with like say a future husband, like I want to be able to be stable. Well, in these days, you're not gonna be fully financially stable. It's gonna happen, but like where just my kids is good. They don't have to like ask when's their next meal or what are they gonna wear on the back of their and anything. Just like questioning everything. So it's like I
Yeah.
want to make sure they good, but you ain't getting no handout. If I didn't get no handout growing up, you ain't gonna get no handout. You're gonna have to learn what hard work is.
Right? That's how I had to do it.
Like So like we had to grind. It's
That's
real.
fact.
So,
That's fact.
so if there was a word or a phrase to describe your journey, what would it be?
A word or a phrase? The one that just popped into my mind was just trials and tribulations. That's the best way I could describe. I think that's life though. I think you have to go through trials and tribulations. You know, if everything was all good all the time, there would be no good. If everything was, bad all the time, there would be no bad. It would just be. So I think I think that's you have to have balance of both good and bad. You got to go through those dark times. You got to go through those good times, and either way it goes, you got to come out on the other side. And the way you respond to those times is what makes you who you are. So I like to come out either way it goes with a smile on my face. So uh, I try my best to do that every time I face a trial or tribulation. Like I was smiling before my surgery, my second surgery, going to get my ACL reconstruction. I just remember looking at my mom. She got the most worried look on her face, and I'm just like, so, so yeah, that's how I try to live.
She's like, he's smiling like I'm still here. I ain't dead.
Yeah, I'm like, we're gonna be good, mama. It is what it is.
I feel like mothers are like the strongest people. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned like your mom is your rock. Like, I could just tell like from hearing that, like, oh, so like, do you feel like your mom has like inspired you to be the best person, best man you can be?
Yeah, I think especially with my father passing away earlier on in my life, um, my mom had to take on a lot, raising three boys. Um, she, and I had my dad to instill, like what's right, what's wrong, my morals and things, and he's the enforcer, of course. But my mom, she always kept me on track. She never let me go astray. I remember being in high school and all my friends was out like 11, 12 o'clock, at parties and whatnot. And I'm trying to get out, trying to go with them or whatever. And one thing that sticks in my mind all the time is my mom used to tell me, you know, I know you want to do what regular kids do, but you're not a regular kid, and if you want to be regular, then you can do that, but you don't want to be regular, right? And she was right. I didn't want to be regular, so I couldn't do what everybody else was doing. I had to stay in my own lane. So, now looking back on it, I'm thankful, and I definitely get it now. Everything hindsight is 2020. But yeah, my mom, she, she inspired me to just do more, do your best at everything you do the right thing, and be somebody that people can depend on. So I credit my mom for all of that. And she handled everything like a champ. You know what I mean? Like every trial and tribulation that came her way, I seen her get hit, get knocked down, and get right back up. So I try to live my life the same type of way.
Shout out to moms.
Shout out to mama.
Like if you're seeing this,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Her birthday coming up.
Ooh,
Gotta do
happy
something
birthday,
special for
mama.
her. Yes, ma'am.
So you gotta do it big for her. So
Yeah, I got to.
it's crazy because it's like you mentioned, like the people. Some it's the same thing growing up. Like some people would stay out 11 to 12 at night, go to like sneak in and have their like parties and stuff. Like growing up, if the street light was on, you had to go inside.
Man, what? Who you telling?
If the street light was on, you had to
Who
go
you
inside.
telling?
It's like, oh, it's dinner time. You had to
Oh
go
yeah,
inside. Like I used to hear this phrase like where people said, "What you doing after 11? What you doing after 10? Ain't nothing going on. Ain't nothing going on unless it's trouble after
yep.
10 or 11 at night." I'm like, how do you know this? Like,
That's
like,
fact
oh,
though. Now that I'm
like,
older, I know that's fact.
right? It's like, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna just mind my business. So, but it's crazy. Like, if people understood growing up, like, there's a reason why they had streetlights coming on. It's like
Nah, that's
those.
fact. There was a reason you had to be in the house too.
So I always ask my guests this question. Bonafide means authentic and unique for the men. I always have to ask the authenticity, you know. Yeah, I blooped on that. So,
Yeah.
like I said, this is Raw and Real podcast. I'm raw and real with it. So, I'll have my blooper moments. But, okay. So, what makes Mr. Miles Thornton authentic and what makes your story stands out?
Oh man. I think what makes me authentic is that, well, for one, I am authentic. I think if you know me, I'll tell it how it is. And um, behind all of the political correctness, there's I see a lot and I have a lot to say. I don't really, throw my opinion out there because I think that you also have to be kind of cognizant of your environment, what you're around. You gotta play the game. You gotta play the game. But what's real about me is me. Like I think that I'm as real as it gets in a sense that I tell it to you straight. I ain't gonna lie. I don't care who you are. I tell it to you straight. I'm gonna keep it 100. But I think what makes my story stand out is man, it's still it's still being written too. It's still being written, and if you look at my past, if you look at the film, one, it's been entertaining. It's been a ride. You know what I mean? So that's good. uh, but what makes it stand out is I wasn't I didn't do it like everybody else. I charted my own path and I didn't really I didn't have too much to go off of. I kind of just made my own road. I paved my own road and I did things how I thought things should be done and you know, I live with my decisions every day and again, I try to smile and I try to affect other people and I think that's what stands out is I don't think I'm living this life just for me. I think I'm living this life to affect as many people as possible and impact as many lives as possible. Um, so I think that's what make it stand out.
Ooh, you better let them know what it is. Ooh. Hold on. Okay. My little fan right here. There you go. Yes. Won't he do it? Yes, he will.
Yes, he will.
I just want to say shout out to you, sir. Like I said, like you were so very welcoming when we met at AthleteCon. I was like, oh, I was like, especially I was like, wait a minute, you got the same, you wearing the same, you had the
Yep.
chain on. I was like, you got the same one as I do. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? I was like, you know what? We cool. I'm here for it. But you were just very welcoming, very like just like very warm. Like you know how people make you feel warm, just like
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, he's so nice. I like him. He's good people. It's like,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
but I had to give you your credit and your flowers, sir, for it, and just let you know I'm very proud of you and you doing the darn thing up in Georgia. So shout out to you.
I appreciate you. That means more than you know. Hopefully, that's what everybody thinks. I think that's the other thing. I say that one misconception all the time is that all of us athletes are like we think we're better than other people. I don't think I'm better than anybody. You know, anybody could have been in this position with just the right amount of luck and the right amount of work. So um, I just hope that people know that, like you said, like your shirt says, we're human first, and that's how I treat everybody. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you look like. Okay, I don't care what your mom name is, what your dad name is. Everybody's human, and we're all one race, the human race, and so you know, treat everybody the same. Treat
Ooh,
everybody how you want to be treated.
ooh, let them know what it is, cause
Take it back to kindergarten.
man, some folks ain't ready for that conversation.
Man, what?
It's like, like I mean,
Yeah.
it's like. But Mr. Miles, can you let the folks know how where they can find and support you as well as upcoming events happening?
Yes, of course. So my Instagram is mvomiles.19. So is my TikTok, and I don't really be on Twitter, but you can find me at mvomiles.19 on everything. I also have a YouTube, Mega Miles, that is my gaming channel. I don't know when I'll get back to that, but I promise I'll get back to it soon. But you can find me with JTM, which is Jacob, Terrell, and Miles. We have our own podcast called For All My Dogs. It posts every Thursday. Trying to get back on schedule with that as well. Look, it's been rough, okay? The season has started and everything's been rough, but we're trying to get back on track with all of that. I will keep you updated on my page, and Jacob and Terrell can keep you updated as well. Go follow us at For All My Dogs and our JTM channel as well. And yeah, I think that's it. We got a Halloween episode coming up too, so
Oh,
that'll be something special. That'll be fun. We're working everything out for that too. But yeah, that's that. That's me.
y'all heard it from the king here first. Y'all be sure to follow him at MVO Miles.19 on
Yes,
TikTok
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
and Instagram and all the other social medias.
Yep.
And be sure to tune in to their podcast For All My Dogs.
For all my dogs.
Yeah, for all my dogs, he says.
All
For
my
all my
dogs.
dogs. So be sure to subscribe to it. Y'all be sure to follow him. And be sure to check out the live replay of Bonafide Her podcast, episode 167, featuring Miles Thornton. After this, you could check out the live replay. And big shout out to Miles for coming on the podcast to share your story. Thank you guys for tuning in.